All right, IM3 classes. Today we're continuing on with the special right triangles. So last time we did 45, 45, 90. Today we're doing 30, 60, 90. So that means we have a right triangle, so 90 degrees, and the other two angles are 30 and 60. This shortcut, it's the same idea. Using a shortcut, you can just multiply or divide to find the other sides. This one is a little bit different, a little bit harder because there's more to remember. Really, if you know the short leg, you can find the hypotenuse by multiplying by 2. If you know, and then you can find the medium leg by multiplying by the square root of 3. All right. So that also means going the opposite way. If you know the medium leg, all right, you would divide by the square root of 3 to find the short leg, and then multiply by the square root of 2 to find the hypotenuse. Or going this way to find, if you have the hypotenuse to find the short leg, you would divide by 2. Like the 45, 45, 90, I have a handy flow chart that I like this one to tell you what to do. So you ask yourself, what side do I know? So the easy one is knowing the short leg. If you know the short leg, to find the hypotenuse, you just multiply by 2. And then to find the medium leg, you multiply by the square root of 3. All right. If you don't know the short leg, the easy one to find would then be to find the next easier one would be if you know the hypotenuse. So if you know the hypotenuse, what you want to do is find the short leg first. And then to find that, you divide the hypotenuse by 2. And then once you have the short leg, you find the medium leg by multiplying by the square root of 3. All right. Now, if you know the medium leg, again, you want to find the short leg first. So to find the short leg, you divide the medium leg by the square root of 3. And then you can find the hypotenuse by multiplying the short leg by 2. So let's look at an example. So here, 2 examples. We know the short leg. So to find the long leg, I'm going to multiply by, or the hypotenuse, I'm going to multiply it by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. That's easy. To find the medium leg, I'm going to multiply by the square root of 3. 3 times the square root of 3, just 3 root 3. Done. All right. Sometimes you might have a fraction or some other interesting thing here to work with. But either way, you still, to find the hypotenuse, you multiply by 2. So I'll do that off to the side. So 7/2 times 2. Make your fraction. You can either simplify first, so the 2's actually cancel out, you'd be left with 7, or if you multiply straight across, 7 times 2 is 14, 2 times 1 is 2, 14 divided by 2 is 7. So the hypotenuse is 7. To find the medium leg, I need to multiply by the square root of 3. So just 7 times the square root of 3, or 7/2 times the square root of 3, there's no simplifying left to do there. The one thing that we would do is kind of squish the 7 and the square root of 3 together in the top of the fraction and write it like that. That just looks nicer, but they're the same thing. So next, if you have the hypotenuse, so next we're going to look at what to do if you have the hypotenuse. You want to find the short leg first, so I'm going to divide by 2. That's easy. 4 divided by 2 is 2. All right. And then from here, I'm going to find the medium leg, I multiply by the square root of 3. 2 times the square root of 3 is just 2 times the square root of 3. So again, we might have this out of the way. A little bit more complicated part. So here I'm going to divide again by 2. All right. So 2 root 3 divided by 2, the 2's just cancel out, and I just have root 3. So the short leg is root 3. I'm going to take that to find the medium leg. I need to multiply by the root 3. So root 3 times root 3, I'll do this down here. So root 3 times root 3. Hopefully you remember that. The roots just cancel each other out. Math behind that, root 3 times root 3 is root 9. Square root of 9 is 3. Yeah, overall, the square roots just go away. So short side is root 3, Medium side is just 3. All right, so now if you know the medium side, you need to go back around. So if you know the medium side, to find the short side, you divide by the square root of 3. All right, so here I'll do that. Here's square root of 3 divided by square root of 3. That's just 1. That's easy. And then to find the hypotenuse, you need to multiply by 2. So 1 times 2 is just 2. Easy. All right, this one a little bit more complicated. All right, so I need to find the short side. I divide by the square root of 3. So I'm going to do square root of 6 over 3 divided by square root of 3. How I want to do that, make this a fraction. Square root of 6 divided by square root of 3 is, you flip and multiply, so it'll be square root of 6 over 3 times 1 over root 3. Then from there, 6 times 1, or root 6 times 1 is just root 6. 3 times root 3 is just root 3. We need to rationalize the denominator. We can't just leave it like that. That's kind of ugly. But what we can do, since the 6 and the 3 are both underneath a radical, we can reduce the 6 and the 3. So what we're going to do is just reduce this part of the fraction. Since they're both underneath the radical, 6 over 3 reduces to square root of 2 over square root of 1. All right, square root of 1 is just 1, so we get root 2 over 3, and that's just root 2 over 3, or 3 times 1. So it's root 2 over 3. Well, I'm done with that one. Root 2 over 3. And then, to get the hypotenuse, then you multiply that by 2. So root 2 over 3 times 2, get a fraction. 3 times 1 is just 3. 2 times root 2, just squish it together in the top. Boom. There, we're done there. So 2 root 2 over 3. And that'll do it for special right triangles. Next, we're moving on to trigonometry, sine, cosine, tangent. Can't wait. Not what I want to do. I want to end this soon. That's the button.